G'day guys, Jeff Ware here from bikereview.com.au. I'm out on a sunny spring day on the central coast of New South Wales, Australia. It's a Saturday and I'm out for a ride on the KTM 690 Duke R. I've had this bike for a week. I've ridden it in all kinds of weather. It's great. It's got ABS, it's got traction control, lots and lots of updates for this bike last year. That beautiful LC4 engine there is an absolute cracker, the big single. So what's the 690R like to ride? Well, first of all, it feels like a big super motard, or a little super motard, whichever way you want to look at it. It's kind of like a typical KTM. Half road bike, half off-road. You can feel that off-road DNA hugely, especially as a road rider like me. The dash is fantastic. It's got to be one of the best dashes in the business. Very easy to read, easy to see, and easy to navigate. Really happy with that. It's super comfortable, narrow between the thighs here, really nice shaped tank for taller riders like me, which is a nice change. Great rear suspension. The soft front, it dives through the stroke a bit too hard, so I've slowed things down there. People with a road background will find the suspension too soft, but you can adjust that. Gearing is super tall. So KTM have had to make this gearing really tall, I guess, to get the most out of this engine on the road. What that means is it really doesn't have much punch around town in first gear, second gear. In fact, if you try and ride it above third gear at 60 to 70 kilometers an hour, it almost won't run. It lugs and chugs. Super tall gearing. But once you get going and get out of town, and if you can keep this bike from 5,500, 6,000 and above all the time, it absolutely flies, and it's a real hoot, and it's around 6 grand that exhaust note comes alive. It's a Hoons bike. If you want a bike to cruise around town on and ride to work, unless you want to ride to work flat out doing wheelies everywhere, it's not the bike for you. It's the bike for the person that wants to go out and let loose on a weekend and just wring its neck, because it needs to be ridden flat out. Otherwise, just go home. That's what the bike's built for. No excuses there. So it's not built to be a tame puppy. Certainly that's not what it is. Brake feel. That's a bit of a disappointment for me. It's got top spec Brembos, including the master cylinder, but this particular bike I'm on today has very little initial bite, and you have to squeeze very hard on the brakes. I'd say there's a brake problem there. Clutch action is heavy. It's got this Magura master cylinder and lever, and every time I go to grab the clutch, I push the lever forward with my hand and it's not there. The lever can actually move forward a long way, which is a strange setup. So I don't like the feel of the clutch. I'd replace that clutch lever with something else. In terms of take-up feel, the clutch is good. It's a good clutch. It's just a bit heavy and the lever is sloppy and a bit messy there. Handlebars are fantastic, fully adjustable, forwards and backwards, of course. I like them in the sanded position. Lots of firm, good support from this seat. You'll get a sore bum. I did about a 1 hour freeway stint on it and I was getting a sore bum, but it's not a touring bike. Pillion seat's pretty good. I had my wife on the back up the shops, Heather, she liked it. The rear pillion grab rails are in a good spot, and rubber mounted pillion pegs and rider's pegs there. That's also really good for luggage, that too. So you put your backpack on. I've got a backpack with me today with all my camera stuff and whatever, and I just been strapping that around there. Good stuff. Mirrors look useless, but they're actually fantastic. So the mirrors are really good. I'm happy with that. Overall finish is typical KTM quality. It's a good bike. And yeah, again, that engine is a cracker. It's great fun. The gearbox feels sloppy around town, but once you're out and you use good, hard, positive shifts, it's a pretty good gearbox. It would be fantastic fun with a quick shifter, this motorcycle. So I'd be definitely looking to put a quick shifter on this bike. And what about handling? Again, it's like a motard. Initial turn-in is, reasonably fast. It's got sort of stable geometry, I guess. But with the big wide bars, you can flick it into the turn hard. Once you adjust the suspension, it will settle quickly. In the standard setup, it's all over the shop. Then once it settles in the turn, it stays on its side nicely all the way through. There's no stand up from bumps. There's no stand up on the brakes. You don't really have to hang off it like a road bike. I've just been sitting in the middle and just pushing the bike down into the turn, still my boots kind of touch, and then I know where I am. You can smash into bumps mid-corner, which is a real advantage on this bike, on roads and places like I'm up in the countryside a bit here now. And you know, there's some roads I've been riding on this morning that if I was on a sports bike, I would have tank slapped off into the bushes. This thing just soaks it all up, so it's great, good for Australian roads, I guess, like that. And changing the modes is very easy. ABS is switchable, it does great wheelies. Overall, I give it a huge thumbs up. It's a fantastic, fun motorcycle, and of course a great product from KTM. So I'm going to go and grab the standard 690 now, and we'll be back. G'day guys, Jeff Ware here. I am back again. So this morning I was on the 690R, and now I'm on the standard version. Just did the same road loop, all the same stuff. Was I disappointed on this bike? No, I wasn't. Would I buy this over the R version or the R version over this? Well, I'd buy the R version because I like all the goodies and the bling, but there's no reason why you wouldn't buy this bike. It's fantastic. Quickly, so you know, what held me back? The forks, okay, they're non-adjustable, they're soft, and when you brake hard, it gets out of shape. The shock, it's basic, preload adjustment, fades. So yeah, look, it's got lower rate suspension, and it's got a lower rate front Brembo caliper, and a slightly different rotor I noticed as well. Very, very spongy lever. Just a standard basic master cylinder. This bike's very new, very young. I had a look at the pads, they're fine. It's just not the best setup. The rear brake's good. So that aside, you know, it needs suspension adjustment or changes. It needs a brake pad, brake line, or some master cylinder changes. That's where some of your money comes in. Your exhaust system, of course, it's not the Akrapovic, but it sounds just as good. In fact, above 6,000 RPM, this sounds better than the Akrapovic. With different foot pegs and a fair few other bits and pieces you can read about in the story. Doesn't matter, the bones of the bike are really good. It's got the geometry, it's got that beautiful engine. It doesn't have the ride modes, okay, so it doesn't have sport, street and rain, and it doesn't have traction control. It does have the symbols in the dash. So I actually came in here onto this gravel and was sort of going to test the traction control, and it doesn't have it. So I was like, what? Like this, and I was actually expecting the traction control to work. Just simply because the symbol was there, I assumed it has it. Doesn't. So it's got a few things missing like that, but it doesn't take anything away from the ride. This is a back to basics, bare bones motorcycle. Handlebars, throttle, clutch, brakes, gear lever. Go for your life. Have a lot of fun with that single cylinder engine. I've been having an absolute ball on it. Look, read the full test to find out more. Simon Harris has done a full test on the R version. I'm doing this, and we're doing opinions on each of the bikes for each other. But for more tests like this, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to visit bikereview.com.au. I hope you have a fantastic day. I am. It is Saturday. I've still got a few hours left. Although I did see the police up here, so I might head home for a cold beer, I think. Anyway, enjoy the full report and make sure you read the whole report.